Full-scale training has begun in Japan. For the first time, we close in on what happens during an Osprey's flight. This is the GSDF's Camp Saga. We obtained permission for a 4-month reporting project.
すごく新しいですね。
そうですね。まだ至るところが工事中の最中でありまして、はい。
The camp was opened in July 2025. Currently, about 400 personnel are carrying out their duties here. In addition to a cafeteria, there are stores operated by civilian workers, including a barber shop. What's the biggest feature of this camp?
こちらが佐賀駐屯地の駐機場エプロンになります。
The camp serves as a base for 17 units of the new V-22 transport aircraft, commonly known as the Osprey. Developed in the United States, the Osprey is a transport aircraft used to carry people and cargo. It is not equipped with fixed weapons. It can take off and land vertically like a helicopter. There have been voices questioning its safety. Why did Japan's ground troops decide to introduce the Osprey? We headed to Camp Ainora in Nagasaki Prefecture, where training that can explain the reason was taking place. As 2 Ospreys approached, members of the Amphibious Rapid Deployment Brigade, which is headquartered at this camp, waited while carrying rifles. The brigade is considered one of the key assets for the defense of the Nansei Islands, located south of the main island of Kyushu. Its main mission is to recapture islands in the event they are occupied by an enemy. The Ospreys landed like a helicopter. The brigade members boarded the aircraft. They then sat in folding seats. In emergency situations, the Osprey can transport brigade members to islands without runways. The Osprey can fly at about 500 kilometers per hour, twice the speed of a helicopter. It can reach Ainura, about 60 kilometers from Saga, in about 10 minutes. The Defense Ministry cites factors such as its proximity to Ainura as reasons for placing the base in Saga. The Osprey combines the advantages of both a helicopter and an airplane. How difficult is it to pilot? We asked a pilot to explain. We entered an Osprey from the rear of the aircraft, which serves as the cargo compartment. Unlike passenger planes, the wiring and piping are exposed. The cockpit is at the front of the aircraft.
初めて見て驚いたんですけど、モニターなんですね。
その通りですね。アナログの計器類ではなくてですね、電源を入れてこのディスプレイのスイッチをオンにすることで計器類がデジタルで表示される。
The Osprey's distinctive external features are the nacelles that house the jet engines and the rotating blades. In the helicopter mode, the nacelles point almost straight up. Changing the angle to nearly horizontal shifts the Osprey to airplane mode. What kind of operation is necessary to change that angle?
こちらの、ナセルコントロールスイッチ、グレーのスイッチですね。
The angle can be changed easily by using the thumb to operate the switch. Because the aircraft is controlled by computers, it is said to remain stable at all times. The camp uses the runway of the adjacent Saga airport. Some people come to the airport observation deck to see the Ospreys. What do neighbors think about the Osprey deployment in their backyard?
必要だから進められることであろうし、マイナスばっかりじゃないと思うんで、観光地にもなって佐賀が潤えばいいのかな。
The Ariake Sea, which stretches out from Camp Saga, is known for cultivation of nori seaweed, a local specialty.
よろしくお願いします。
We spoke with a nori seaweed farmer to see if the new camp has had any impact on the sea. The farmer has been cultivating nori in the Ariake Sea for about 20 years. We asked him about the effects of the Osprey base, built right by his fishing grounds.
黒いのが全部ノリ。
そうですね。網目が塞がるぐらいになったら適材をしてます。
He says nori cultivation is affected by many natural factors, so the opening of the camp is a source of concern. But for this season, he says he has not felt any major difference.
今、あそこに2台飛んでますね。
During the interview, ospreys appeared overhead.
作業してても音ですぐ分かるんですよね。やっぱ音はでかいです。
During takeoff and landing, ospreys basically avoid flying over residential areas and instead fly over the sea.
よく話すのは落ちたらどうするとか。結局この子に落ちたらもう製品にならないんで、油とかで。たまになんかニュースとかで来る前は聞いてたんでですね、そこまでの信用はできてない。
In the development stage, the Osprey was involved in a series of serious accidents. In November 2023, an Osprey belonging to the U.S. Air Force crashed off the coast of Yakushima, killing all 8 people on board. Concerns remain over whether the Osprey is truly safe. We spoke with the commander at Camp Saga.
できるだけ正しい情報をお伝えをしてご理解をいただくように努めていかないと信頼は獲得できないと認識してますので。
We received permission to board an Osprey and report firsthand on how safety is ensured. The Osprey is operated by a 4-member team.
私は明日機長させていただきます佐藤と申します。で副操縦士の長谷川一、セクリチーフの池本二曹と立花三曹になります。どっちになるんですか？
The crew chiefs, also known as onboard maintenance personnel, support the pilot and co-pilot during flight. We installed fixed cameras inside the Osprey. We also had cameras mounted on the crew chief's helmets. There were 7 cameras in all. This is apparently the first time such coverage has been permitted. The cargo bay is where the 2 crew chiefs are stationed. On board, we were told to wear 4-point seatbelts at all times to brace for sudden turbulence. We must also protect our ears because the sound of engines and blades is extremely loud. We also recorded the audio exchanges. The Osprey we were on began its flight operation. In the cockpit, the aircraft can be piloted from either seat. This time, the co-pilot seated on the left was in charge of flying, while the pilot managed the overall flight operations, including communication with the control tower. One of the crew chiefs was positioned behind the cockpit. The other supported the flight from the rear of the cargo bay. They started changing the aircraft's direction. The co-pilot vocally signaled the move. The other 3 checked for obstacles around the aircraft and reported back. They covered the co-pilot's blind spots when changing direction. They were checking for any birds nearby. Once on the runway, the pilot and a crew chief conducted a final check together. The co-pilot pushed a lever to increase power. The aircraft rose vertically into the air. The wheels were retracted, and the aircraft transitioned into airplane mode. In-flight communication continued. Outside, the rotating blades can be seen shifting from an upward to a horizontal position. From a hovering state, the aircraft accelerated all at once. When the mode changed, an acceleration like that of a conventional airplane taking off was felt. After takeoff, the aircraft turned to the right. Even during flight, the crew chiefs continuously checked the surroundings and the condition of the aircraft. Upon returning to the airspace above the camp, the aircraft transitioned from airplane mode to helicopter mode for landing. The nacelles, which had been horizontal, gradually began to point upward. They say that aircraft require the greatest caution during takeoff and landing. Communication inside the aircraft became more frequent. A crew chief leaned out from the aircraft to check for obstacles to landing and for any abnormalities on the vehicle. Here's the perspective of the crew chief positioned behind the cockpit. By actually boarding the aircraft, we understood that the four-member team communicates and coordinates to ensure safety far more than we imagined. Camp Saga works on creating opportunities to directly explain matters to nearby residents. In response to safety concerns, a public affairs officer who is also a pilot provides explanations.
空飛ぶコンピューターとも言われています。携帯電話のようにアップグレードがあるんですね。他の機体でもし事故があった場合、その事故がなぜ起きたのかっていうのをしっかり分析して、同じ事故が起きないようにアップグレードされます。この機体が絶対に墜落しないとかそういった説明する気は全くないんですが、インターネットで噂になっているような機体でしたら、私も8歳の子供がいますけど、子供に使って乗らないです。
We spoke with tour participants.
ちょっとほっとしたというか、私はすごく安心感を持ちました。はい。
こういう取り組みってどう思いますか？
いや、いいと思います。いいと思います。いいと思いました。本当に。
普段何してるか全然イメージわからないじゃないですか。
Many nearby residents we interviewed said the new camp is surrounded by fences and they cannot see the faces of the personnel. Camp officials say that when the local community invites them to events, they want to take part as much as possible. This is a walking event organized by a junior high school PTA. At the invitation of the PTA, 15 camp personnel took part.
一緒の地域に住む仲間としてですね、一緒に何か交流できたらなということで、
全国大会も初出場して。
すごい。
When it started to rain, a service member offered an umbrella. The Osprey unit has descended on Saga amid an increasingly severe security environment.
安全を確保しつつ、より効果的効率的に訓練を実施をして連動を向上させることが、我が国防衛のためにすごく重要なことだというふうに認識しています。